Welcome back to MusketeersHockey.com. We're set for our third installment of the Coach's Corner on MusketeersHockey.com. I'm Jordan Berger, and with me is Musketeers head coach and general manager Luke Strand. Coach, you head into the break on a 4-1 tear, and holiday break kind of came at an interesting time, but nonetheless time to reflect and recharge your batteries for you and the guys.
I think so. It's never. It's not an opportune time when you're on a roll to take a break, but at the same time, I think we got healthy with some bodies there. Herbert's back 100%. We added a player or two here in Alex Velishek and Troy Hesketh, and then along the way here, it was good for everyone to go home, recharge, just kind of go their own way for a little bit here before he came back. And I know the guys have had a lot of energy here coming back.
And talk about just kind of the highs and lows of the first half of this year. You have that hot start, 9-4, then you go through that 6-game slide, and then you're 4-1 in your last 5. And just as a coach, you just have to keep an even keel, not get too high, not get too low.
Yeah, it's important. I mean, it's a long go. I mean, of the whole group here, I mean, there's only a handful of guys that have played a 60-game schedule from start to finish. It's going to be a complete season. It's going to be a really tough thing. I think there's teams that, like us, we started out dynamite. We did hit a little wall there, per se. Probably two sides of the World Challenge, and the other side is just things go well early. You kind of just expect it. You don't necessarily earn it always, and respect the idea that it went so well. So now to get back on track before break, it was a really important time for us.
And last time we saw your boys was way back on the 17th and the 19th, 2 big road wins over Lincoln and Sioux Falls, and kind of different wins. Lincoln, really impressive effort start to finish, and then in that game against Sioux Falls overcame a lot of adversity. Penalty kill was terrific, and 2 huge goals by Maxim Gaudreau. So a really nice way to go into the break, 2 big road divisional wins.
I thought the guys were, they stayed together. I agree the win in Lincoln was important. It found us maybe a more of a team effort in the fact that we had to battle through some adversity early, got a lead, lost that lead, tied up, and then found a way to have energy in the second period with some scraps and with some goal scoring of different sorts. Back-to-back goals, really close to one another, a power play setting. There were some good things that way, and pretty balanced across the score sheet. And then Sioux Falls brought us a different test for the fact we were getting outshot pretty hard early. Scoffer was very good. Like you say, our penalty kill had to be very good because we were in the box too much for everybody concerned. And then big goals, going to the net goal by Maxim Gaudreau, and then the shorthander by Max that sealed the game for us. And Goose played a whale of a game right before the break.
And maybe the most impressive thing about those 2 wins was, you worried about maybe the team was focused on getting that break, and really they were really mentally focused through maybe that one bad period against Sioux Falls in the first, but 5 out of 6 periods they played pretty strong hockey. So mentally I thought they were pretty sharp.
It was a precedent for us the entire. It's the hardest week to coach. It's probably the hardest week to play. Everyone's got plans and family and settings that they haven't seen in a while to look forward to, but to stay on task, we demanded a lot, we asked a lot, and I know when it was time and said and done at Sioux Falls, they were pretty energized. It was time to go home.
And let's elaborate on these 2 acquisitions. These have potential to be some big-time players for you guys. 2 NHL draft picks in Alex Velishek and Troy Hesketh. And how did this come together? Were you looking to improve your blue line for a long time here?
Well, it's been. I mean, anytime you improve your club, you want to. It's the unfortunate part is that sometimes it steals from someone else. In this case, it did. It's going to take away from ice time for a few guys and probably move some bodies out of here. At the same time, Alex, a very mature 20-year-old player. He was a 5th-round pick of the Penguins. He just left Providence College to join us here, so he's got some college maturity under his belt, but yet at the same time he's got a lot of growing to do, both as a player and a person, and coming out to Midwest is a new adventure for him as well. So he'll be a pleasant surprise. I mean, he can really get around the rink well. He's very deliberate with his decisions, and he's got very good instincts. Troy Hesketh was a 3rd-round pick of Edmonton this past year. He's a Minnetonka boy up in Minneapolis, so he brings up a different flavor that way. Alex being an East Coast guy, Troy being a Midwest guy. Troy was with Chicago earlier in the year. Probably didn't have the best go of it. Looking for a new setting. I'm confident in what we've seen of Troy in the past. He's originally a Fargo future pick that got moved to Chicago. And just along the way here, he's a pleasant surprise. He can really skate. Again, instinctively very solid. He defends extremely well because he's got a lot of skill and a stick. and he can really close on people. His feet are tremendous, and he's a competitive guy that wants to continue to improve his stature as both a player and a person.
And before you guys hit the road next week for a big Eastern swing, 3 huge games at home against Sioux Falls, Waterloo, and Fargo's in town for the big New Year's Eve game. And we talked about all those 4 wins were all on the road, and if you guys can just get hot at home, it'd be really a great thing to see. And it starts tomorrow night against a really good Fargo team. And the last time we saw you, that's where that streak began. But they were missing some big time guys, and Brian Cooper, Zane Gothberg didn't start, Colton St. Clair was out. So it's a really good team. They beat Dubuque on the road a couple nights ago. So a real good test for your club right off the bat here.
It will be. I mean, it's kind of exciting. It's a familiar foe here in the West. I mean, we were starting to play each other a whole bunch. It seems like yesterday when we were in Fargo with our problems, that Friday night loss, I believe, was 7-2 loss, and then to come back the next night and win. So they're a talented group, talented coach. I think there's some depth that they're in their lineup for both offensive and defensively, and definitely in goal. I mean, Gothberg's going to be a star player. He'll be one of the best USHL goalies to ever come out of the league. There's no doubt in my mind. And then Mass has been a very steady force for him for 2 straight years. So they're deep in goal as well. And then the New Year's Eve curse, right? I mean, isn't that what they all say around here? So we want to get back to it, and we're expecting a great crowd, and the support that we get in the Siouxland's fantastic.
And it's no coincidence that you end that streak. That was the night that Carpenter, Gaudreau, and Tim O'Brien were formed to shut down Jimmy Mullen after he had that 5-point game, and it's pretty amazing. You take a look at Mullen's last 11 games, only twice has he been held off the score sheet. One of them was against you guys, so I know that's going to be a key tonight, or tomorrow night rather, and I know Carpy's going to have a big role to play in that game tomorrow night.
They do. Jimmy's a very good player. He was with us with that World Challenge, and he's got a few different attributes to his game. He can be a kind of a wild forechecking, pressing guy, and turnover guy, or he can be a really controlled, skilled guy. And so he's got both facets. And you're right, Carpy and O'Brien and Max and Gaudreau did a great job against him last time, and our expectation is they'll have to do the same again.
And lastly, how good has Matt Scoff been lately, and should we expect him to see him between the pipes? No surprise that you're 4-on-1, and he started every game during this little excellent streak here.
Scoffer's been very good, and I think there's just a big adjustment period. I mean, Scoffer started the year as probably the tag on his uniform said go-to starter, with a little injury, a little illness, some plagues along the way that maybe set him back. And not being a real star, I mean, he hasn't been a go-to guy start to finish in this league yet. So the fact he went through what he went through early, I think is just a blimp of the radar compared to what's expected of him, and more importantly, probably what he expects of himself. So Scoffer will go again tomorrow. He's been on fire, and our expectation is that's what he'll continue to do.
Coach, good luck tomorrow, and let's end that New Year's Eve streak tomorrow night.
I'm with you. Come out and join us.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
That's Musketeers head coach and general manager Luke Strand, and come back to musketeershockey.com for the Coach's Corner.